I have been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it just keep proving us right. If you never know, welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe, and let's start this together. So on this channel, we break stocks down. We try to predict what stock is about to make the next move and act accordingly. So 10-year treasury yield has been rising continuously for the last 6, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months non-stop. And what happened? Each time Nasdaq pushed up to a new high, it always pulled back. And although we profit from this, although we benefit from this, if you can see, wait, not yet. I'm just ahead of myself. Let's go all the way over to 10-year, not 10-year, but Nasdaq on a whole. Nasdaq been at all-time high, correct itself, which is good for the market. Pull back. I just want to talk about reversal. On Friday, as you can see, Nasdaq pulled back and found its support. Previous Friday, Nasdaq pulled back again. So right here, we're just trying to find a balance in the market. For now, for the rest of the year, which is we have until Tuesday, because Wednesday is the first. I think the market is just going to continue to trade sideways, and that's always something you can look forward to. Why? Because it offers buying momentum in the market and selling momentum. Buying momentum is where we take opportunity when we see it in the market. For example, let's look at SoFi. When the market pulled back last week, SoFi pulled all the way down to $14.50. Of course, I took it on myself to get some shares because I know that SoFi is a great stock and SoFi is going to be crazy next year. They're predicting that this stock will hit $30, and with no doubt, you can see that for the last 1 year, this stock has been climbing high. But a huge selling order was placed, like 100 million shares was sold last week. And I got that information and I took the pledge of taking profit because if someone is liquidating so much shares, it is ridiculous that I would continue to hold mine, even though I still see the stock going to $30. But again, I'm playing it safely because, boy, I can tell you, I got a lot of hit from the market, and I've learned from those mistakes, and I have learned to take profit when you go in midterm on a stock. So breaking down SoFi was trading at $6 um in March of this year, and coming to the end of the year, you can see that the stock soared. Stock is always going to correct itself. It pushed up, crazy correction, pushed up, got rejected again, and from here, RSI is down. RSI is down. Right here, you can see that the RSI is pointing down. MACD is also pointing down. But again, this stock is super, super, super overbought. So therefore, when these correction comes, it's a buying opportunity. But you have to try to understand when and where to buy. And I'm here to break that down for you. So for now, I would definitely watch SoFi. If I'm going long, I'll wait for SoFi to find some correction. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia was just going crazy, continuously going up, going up, going up. Hit all times high of $152, and look what happened. Pull back, break previous support, pull back, and now look again, still heading downwards. So it's, even though it's making a higher low, I would still not get into a high volatile stock like this. Why? Because there's still room for correction. Still room for correction. Let's go take a look at Meta. It's the same thing with Meta. Meta was trading crazily high at $638. Consolidated, pulled back all the way until $547 and make a new high from there, and look, pull back. So it wouldn't come to me as a surprise if Meta pull all the way back to $549. Definitely not. Look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq push all the way up, continuously making new high, and pull all the way back. Found support, pushed up, got rejected, and we don't know. Maybe the next support will be at 20,000 for Nasdaq when it break that support. So again, with SoFi, I will wait Honestly, I think a strong support is at low $14. Low $14 show a strong support for SoFi. Let's look at SoFi for the last 3 years. As you can see, this the stock is just trading sideways. Looking at it from pushing up for the last 3 years. So as I said, low 14. Look where the last support was found at 14.51. So this is the reason why I said for SoFi, low 14 will come to me at a support. And of course, if it continues to pull back, then if you get in at low 14, if you have $500, you can get 300. This is just what I would do, not saying that you should do the same. Always prepare a plan, an entry plan, an exit plan. Always do that as an investor. Look what Warren Buffett did. He bought million, trillion dollars of Apple shares. And look what he's doing now. He's liquidating Apple shares. So you always have to have an entry plan and an exit plan. So my plan for SoFi for next year, because I'm going to get some more shares of this to put in my portfolio. If it doesn't find support in the next pullback at low $14, then I'll look for a support at $13. If I have $1 to spend in SoFi, I'll buy 50 cents at 14 and wait and see what happens. And then if it pull back, then I'll buy another 50 cents to make my $1 complete investment. Why? Because the stock is super, super, super overbought. Let's look how much percent SoFi is up on the year. So let's go to Yahoo. Let's go to Yahoo and find this out. I'm going to type in our nice ticker symbol SOFI, which is SoFi. So for the year, SoFi is up over 60%. That's a huge, huge return. Year to date, the stock is up still over 60%. That's a huge upside. So definitely I will wait. I will wait to get some shares to go long term, because you can see we pushed up to 17, and what have we been doing from then? Consolidated. The stock can continue to climb and never stop climbing with no doubt. I think that can happen. Definitely can happen. But you just have to be mindful of how you invest in this stock. So that brings us over to AMD. AMD, I love it, and I will continue to buy shares on it, because why? This is a perfect setup for a reversal. Break previous support, but as you can see, our 200-day simple moving average form as a support right now. If we do break below this, then we're in great trouble, because the next support we don't know. The next support when we break this 200-day is at $54, but it's really crazy to see AMD go there. Of course it can, but it's really crazy to see that. I did take it up on myself to get some shares Friday at 122. The stock is trading at $124. Of course, today Sunday, the market is not open, but as you can see, our MACD is still not telling me that it's time to buy, even though our RSI is pointing upwards. But the MACD is saying that we still have room to pull back. Let's look at it from a closer perspective. As you can see, we pushed up, we got rejected, we burned. Even though NASDAQ pulled back over 500 points on Friday, one stock that stood out was AMD. AMD refused to continue to sell off. That's the reason why I got some shares. So with NASDAQ, I found slightly recovery and Friday. If with that said, if tomorrow Nasdaq is trading higher 1-2%, I think AMD will be back in 130 range. That's just my opinion again, because RSI is looking good, MACD is looking good from a broader perspective, from a 1 year perspective, still looking good. But until we're trading above our moving exponential line at until we're trading above 127, AMD is still going to trade sideways. And I think with news can bring the stock back to 150, 160, or even higher. So enough said with AMD. Again, remember to always do your due diligence before you get into any stock. But there's one stock that stood out and I want to bring it to your attention, which ticker symbol is MLI. I spoke about this before and I just want to bring it to you. So let's look at some of the fundamental of this stock, why I think it's a good buy to hold, not for a short term, but for a long term play. Even coming next year, I think this stock is a great stock to buy because let's look at the fundamental. So for this year, you can see that it was good. They had some good earnings. These are some of the fundamental that you want to look at when you're buying stock to hold for a long period. Look at earnings. Earnings beat 16 cents, excuse me, then beat again another 12 cents, then beat again, and February, I can tell you they're going to continue to beat February. And the stock is going to trade even higher. It's currently at $79.96. And don't be surprised at the next earnings when you see the stock trading over $105 or over $120 because they have been doing good. Again, do your due diligence before you invest in any stock. But look at the low estimate 1.12, 1.3. And for next year, look at this 5.4. So this is somewhere you want to be. Why? Because for next year, earnings estimate is very high. And look at revenue. So what they brought in for the first quarter of this year, average was $893 million. And look the estimate for next year, $1 billion. Look at this, even get better at 4.115 billion, and the high estimate is at 4.15 same way. So great news is in sight for I think it's Muller Industry, but again, do your research for this stock before you ever think about buying it. So MLI is one of my most viewed stock for next year because I think this company is going to do tremendously well. And again, do your research before you invest in this stock because it's very crucial to put your hard working money to any company and it's not doing good. But I definitely see this company doing wonderful next year. Again, this is my support. Even when Nasdaq pulled back 500 points, MLI refused to break to go below $76. So if you had got in at 76 from the 5th of this month of December, you would have been up now the stock is trading at $79. So again, look at the RSI, look at the MACD, look at the RSI. Again, like previously, remember this stock was trading at $44 early in this year. To be exact, it was January 16th. This stock was trading at $44. Now it went all the way up to $96.81. Pulled back like all stock does. Super over high. Look at the RSI. Look at the MACD. Super, super overextended. Super, super overbought. And what it did, it pulled back. This is perfect. This is a nice reversal. And now for next year, it's going to be up from here because again, the fundamentals of the stock is great, above. Revenue continue to beat revenue, and it's something that I strongly recommend you do your research and gradually get into it. But that's it from me for today. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned to the channel and let me know anytime how can I help you in the market. Feel free to comment, feel free to share the channel. But stay green and happy new year when it comes.